Hoosier Nation, what's up? Great to be back here with you for another episode of Under the Hood with IU Football, presented by your Central Indiana Ford dealers, a proud sponsor of Indiana football. Reminder to get out there and visit your local Central Indiana Ford dealer today. I'm Rhett Lewis, of course. Great to be back here as we finish up our series getting to know this new coaching staff here at IU, and really excited to get a chance to chat here with cornerbacks Coach Rod Ojan. Coach, man, really appreciate you making some time here for us, especially in the midst of spring ball, right smack dab in the middle of things. Man, you guys jumped right into the fire, right, trying to get this roster right, and I'm sure it's felt like a sprint to get to spring ball, man. How are you kind of acclimating to Bloomington and to Indiana football?
It's been great. Everyone has, open came in with open arms. The town is great. The people are great. We're just trying to get these kids accustomed to our terminology and how we practice and do things the right way.
Yeah, and look, that's obviously a big piece of the spring process, and we'll get into that a little bit here as well. But we'd kind of love to learn a little bit more about your path to Indiana, more about your path to connecting with Coach Cignetti and into this staff, especially on the defensive side of the ball. How did that kind of come together to get you here to Bloomington?
Coach Cignetti, obviously, the stuff he's done in the past, everyone's known. He's been a winner wherever he's been. Obviously, his background with coach Nick Saban and, me being in that tree with being at Georgia with Kirby Smart as well. So we knew the same people and, just kind of had the same philosophy on how he wanted things done. And, he's very systematic based and, he wants things done a certain way. And he's always been a winner. So, it was only the right thing
Pretty
to
appealing,
do.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. It was just the right thing to do.
Yeah, no question. Well, we're glad to have you, certainly. And we'll get into some of these corners in a second. But I did want to dig in a little bit, on that connection, right, off the Nick Saban tree, obviously with Coach Cignetti being a part of Nick's first staff there at Alabama, spending time with him. And then, Kirby being a part of that, right, a part of the Alabama tree there with Nick, and then going on and forming, a powerhouse at Georgia, two-time national champions, back-to-back national champions. What did you pick up from that experience, at the highest level of college football with Georgia, with Coach Smart, that maybe you take with you and have taken with you since then?
Just being detail oriented, like it all starts with the little things. You can't, everything is system based and you have to trust the process. Like, on the field, you have to make things simple so these guys can play fast. It's not what it's what the kids know. And when they can pick it up and they can play fast, then you have a good scheme and overall good system.
Have you been familiar with this system that IU is going to run here on defense in the past, or is it a little bit of a learning curve for you as well as these players kind of get used to it?
No, I kind of been accustomed with it.
Yeah.
Everything just starts on the three principles: being fast, physical, and relentless. We're going to set the tempo. We're not going to sit back and wait for the offense. We want to dictate how the game's going to be played, and we want to be aggressive, and we want to hit you in the mouth first.
I can subscribe to that philosophy for sure. Look, I think we got introduced to a couple of new players at the cornerback position, from IU last year that transferred in, right? Nick Toomer, who we know now is kind of getting some work as a safety. Kobe Minor coming in from Texas Tech, and so having those kind of holdover guys that are older guys in the room. Jamari Sharp has got some significant playing time last year as well. How have you kind of assessed and kind of acclimated those guys that have had some significant collegiate experience here at Indiana to the way in which you want them to play?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great group. It's an eager group, eager to learn. There's a lot of competition in the room, a lot of guys that have a lot of snaps in the past. But again, all that's in the past. Everything's new, everything's earned. So there's a lot of competition going. There is no ones right now. We rotate everybody. And, this business is production based. All right. It's a production business. And, I got this saying, like, it's a production business. Either you're producing or we got no business, So, we want the ball. We want production. The ball is so important. They named the game after it, So, We got to have production back there.
Love that mindset as well, especially for corners and DBs trying to get their hands on a football and make some of those game-changing plays, get the ball back to the offense, or just take it themselves to the house. Right, turn a turnover into 6 points is obviously a huge momentum piece in any game. And then obviously as you look at some of the younger guys in the room, and a chance to kind of continue to mold their collegiate careers. What's kind of your messaging to that group that's kind of striving to get on the field, maybe for the first time, or maybe trying to make their mark on the collegiate level for the first time?
Yeah, it's just trust the process. It's day in and day out. Just be consistent in what you do. Not just coming in as a freshman, you're not going to be the guy, right? You have to follow the steps and have to be detail oriented to be that guy. So, some of the young guys coming in right now, aren't having the success they thought of early,
Sure.
but they're starting to follow the routines that the older guys are doing, right? Getting in the prehab and getting in the weight room, getting stronger and working on their own in their crafts, whether it's in the meeting room or on the field, on just little details like footwork, hand placement, stuff like that. That's going to set you aside from the next man who's trying to get in that same position you are.
Yeah, and look, and you do have, some, freshmen enrolling early that you get a chance to kind of work with in spring, which I know is a huge benefit to kind of get that acclimated so that, when they set foot on campus in August, it's not not the first time that they've had a chance to practice with the team. What are some of the challenges for players in that position, in that type of situation, especially at the cornerback spot, to kind of see everything, absorb everything, and then still trying to jumpstart that track for progression?
Yeah, the biggest thing right now I'm seeing is being a technician. The cornerback position is so technique based that, what you got away with in high school, just based off of talent, you can't do at this level because people are equally or better than you, depending on who you're playing. So right now, just having your eyes in the right spot, your hand placement in the right spot. My biggest thing is be a technician. Be a technician, play in and play out, because that's going to set you aside than your competition. Because at the end of the day, like that's what a corner is. It's hard being a corner because you're on an island all day. All right, so you have to focus on the little things to set you aside.
Yeah, that's a great point that you make. And look, when we still got a long way to go before we get on the field in an actual game situation. And do you have something in mind in terms of rotation, or is it truly personnel based, where you're going to say, hey, look, we're going to have this guy who's going to play 50 snaps, or he's going to play the whole game, at outside corner? Like, do you have a formula in mind there? Do you want to see multiple guys rotate through in the landscape of a game?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you this: the best player is going to play. And there is no. I don't care if you're a freshman, senior. The best player is going to get on the field. Ideally, you'd want a good rotation, but if you don't have the guys to do it, then there is no rotation. But we have to build that room so we can rotate and we can count on guys. That room is talented. They have obviously we've had some guys that have played a lot of snaps. You want to count on your brother to do the right things. And, we're building towards that where it's the next man in. Whoever's in has to get the job done, no matter what call is called, and have the best technique at that certain play.
And then how would you describe, when you have a defensive back room that is split, and that's certainly not uncommon in college football, right? You have a cornerback room, you have a safety room, and have two different coaches for each. What is that communication and collaboration like on a daily basis, right? From coach to coach and then players to players within those two rooms?
The biggest thing is the terminology has to be the same. You can't say one thing in the corner room and it's something else in the safety room. Everything has to equal out. So when you get on the field, all the communication is the same. And then just being on the same page, we do a lot of group work on the field and in the meeting rooms just to be on the same page so they hear the terminology. And That's basically it. Is the terminology has to be the same, the technique has to be the same. You just can't see it the same, and that starts with me and Coach Adams.
There you go. And had loved getting a chance to get to know Coach Adams on a previous episode. Be sure to check that out, by the way, if you haven't got a chance to see that one, available right here on the website on iuhoosiers.com. And then, there's that kind of the slot corner role. And, depending on what defense you're in, it can be called a lot of different things. We want to call it, maybe the rover. How does that position work within your purview? Again, kind of like, the collaboration that we were just talking about with the safeties.
Yeah, that guy has to be very versatile. He has to be a guy that we could bring off the edge. He has to be a guy that has to be great in zone coverages, but also in man coverages. He has to be great in space. So that guy could either come out of my room or Coach Adams' room. Gotcha. Right now, he'll be in Coach Adams' room, and he'll be the one coaching him. But, that type of personnel guy has to be a guy that's be versatile and has to be one of your better players on your football team because he does so much and has a lot of weight in our defense.
Yeah, and I'd actually love to just kind of dig in on that a little bit, just from your experience coaching a variety of positions in your path here to IU. Like, how have you seen that position in particular, right? That quote unquote slot position or nickel position for whether you want to put a corner there or a safety there. How have you seen that kind of evolve over time in the last 5 to 10 years?
Yeah, so it started off being more of your bigger body linebacker type of mold guy. Now, it's transformed to more of a DB body, a guy that, because a lot of teams have morphed into the 10 personnel scheme, true speed on the outside. So now you have to get a coverage guy to be over the slot for your slot fades and your speed outs. And so someone that could be really good in the perimeter, also holding up on blocks as well. So, that's been morphed to more of a DB body.
And then, as we kind of get to the midway point of spring ball and look ahead to, what we're going to see coming up here in the spring game inside the Rock, which will be, the first pseudo game atmosphere you guys will have. Like, what do you want to leave spring ball with? Like, what impression do you want to leave with your guys? Like, what do you want to look back on these 13, workouts, these 13 opportunities to get better and say that we accomplished in that period of time?
Yeah, we want to put a product out there that, Bloomington and IU fans will be proud of. And for my guys collectively, I just want them to get better each and every day. Just get that 1% better. And I think right now they're doing so. They're focusing on the little things like alignments, splits of the receivers, who's on the ball, where's the tight end located, how far is the back, is he in a child position, just little things like that where it's football knowledge, where when you can see the formation and see the splits, you kind of have a tendency in your mind on what's about to happen. So now you're saying if this guy's tucked inside, well, maybe he's running this kind of route. So I always tell my guys to anticipate, but let your eyes validate. But they're starting to get that football IQ throughout these practices. But I just want them to get better each and every day.
And then finally for you, Coach, we talked a little bit about your path to get here, but your path to get into coaching. What drove that? Why is this something that you love, and where did that first that passion for being a coach and being a teacher first really kind of manifest itself in you?
Man, that's a loaded question right there. Man. So, I just always wanted to impact a person's life. As a coach, I feel like every day you have an impact on somebody, good, bad, or indifferent. Like you're going to impact somebody's life. Fortunately, I had a college coach who really impacted my life. Growing up, my father wasn't really around. So that coach really took that father figure in my life. Still talk to him to this day, plays a big part of my life and my family's life. But, just to have those guys around and, something about me, with me and my players, I'm very close with my guys. And I feel like once you connect with a player, they will do anything for you. They'll run through the wall for you and they'll play harder for you because they just don't want to let you down. So just building that connection and not letting them down by how I coach. In return, they won't let me down on the field as well.
Man, well said. And that's a powerful message to leave and to leave this interview on. And we certainly appreciate you, Coach, for giving us a few minutes of your time here today. And can't wait to see you inside the Rock in the spring game.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Coach Rod Ojan with us here today on Under the Hood with IU Football. Thanks so much for being with us here on this episode and all of our previous episodes, getting to know this first-year coaching staff in Bloomington. Hope everybody gets out and packs the Rock for the spring game coming up here shortly. We'll see everybody then. Thanks again for being with us here on Under the Hood.